So I'm in debt, a lot of it. But over the past 2 years, I decided no more and I am getting out of this. I want my financial freedom and I want my money to be my own. When I started, I accrued over $120,000 of student loan debt. And today, as we film this, I have about $34,000 left. And yeah, that took a lot of discipline and budgeting, but really what it took was changing my mindset. I had to make a complete mindset shift about money because for those first 5 years of being in debt, I valued shopping, stuff, image, and aesthetic over having true wealth and true financial freedom. Something shifted along the way where I said no more, and I really had to change my mindset and how I thought about money and a lot about how I thought of myself. So these are the 10 mindset shifts I made about money that are helping me get out of debt. So if this sounds like you and you think you might see some value from this video, then please go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps me out, or smash it. Yeah, I'm saying smash now. And don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos like this. So let's get into my money mindset shifts. The first shift that changed the way I think about money was that I stopped blaming others for my situation. And I know there are some systemic issues that keep people in debt and are designed to keep people poor and struggling, but I think that's a separate issue from what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about making money management choices, impulse, and I want it now type of mindset. So this is the perspective that I'm taking when it comes to a lot of these mindset shifts. So whenever I felt stressed about money, I found I would often blame my situation, blame my circumstances, and blame people around me.
Ew.
Whenever I started to feel like I was overwhelmed and buried in my debt, when I would start to look at the numbers, I would blame everything around me except myself for the situation that I was in. And it was really a result of my own prioritization at the end of the day. I prioritized looking rich and acting wealthy versus actually being wealthy. And I think blame is a strong word. I mean, I think there was some moments of feeling really down on myself and being very upset with myself. But as soon as you shift the responsibility back to yourself and see how some of those choices have got you to where you are, you can also start to own that. The second money mindset shift I made was that I stopped making a joke of my debt. I've seen memes around on the internet that sort of really laugh off overspending and impulse buying and make it almost a joke, and I definitely did that. I think there's this meme, I'll add it right here, and it's a meme that has been sort of burned into my memory because I definitely used to have this attitude. I think that meme is really sort of problematic when it comes to money attitudes and attitudes about having debt. It's almost so normal now that people think it's a joke. Oh, what's another $100 here? Oh, haha, I just spent another $500. Don't worry about it, I'll just get it next month.
That's not funny.
Over shopping, over consuming, and stressing yourself out and stretching yourself thin in order to buy stuff that we don't need to impress people we don't really know or even really like. It's not something to be laughed at. The next money mindset shift I made was that I set a real debt-free date. I think every single year, whenever somebody asked me how my debt repayment was going, I would always say the same amount of time that it would be paid off in. So in the first year of paying off my debt, when I first got out of school, I said, oh, don't worry about it, it'll take me 3 more years to pay this off. Then 3 years later, I said, oh, don't worry about it, it'll take me 3 more years to pay this off.
Cool.
I had my debt on my mind a lot, but I had no plan around what I was gonna do about the debt, how I was going to get rid of the debt. And then I decided to start a budget and set a debt-free date. And once you have your debt-free date, you can create a plan around this. You can create your budget, you can start selling things. It creates a little bit of a fire under your butt to start planning and start doing and start figuring out how you're going to reach this timeline. The fourth mindset shift I made was that I stopped fearing my budget. So I talk a lot about the budget in a lot of my videos, and I often get comments like, oh, I'm scared of budgeting. It seems too overwhelming. I don't want to see the numbers. I don't want to face the truth sometimes. And the ultimate thing is maybe the truth hurts sometimes, but it's also really revealing and extremely empowering. The one thing I noticed when I made my first budget is, and Dave Ramsey says this all the time, is that you actually notice that you almost get a raise.
Oh my God.
Because when you don't know where your money is going and how much you've spent and everything is sort of just floating around without any concrete data, then you really don't know how much you make and you really don't know how much you're spending. So as soon as you write that down and start tracking it and start allocating funds into places that they need to go and start allocating more funds than you thought you were putting down on that debt, you really start to see how quickly that progress can happen. I think at any income, having a budget is so important and most of all, so empowering because you have control over your money. So you have control over your choices, your spending, and where you decide to put that money. The next shift in my mindset that I experienced was that I stopped caring about all the things I used to prioritize. My priorities were definitely image focused and of having an image of being rich without actually being rich. I used to value people's compliments on my outfit, showing off labels, and even having clientele status at certain stores. And looking back on that now, I really see how ridiculous that is. First of all, nobody cares about that. And second of all, I was making myself more and more broke and more stressed and pushing back any goal I ever had for myself further and further away in exchange for a 5-second compliment on a blazer.
Oh my God, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
Or in exchange for giving my money to a company that doesn't care about me. And when I really stopped prioritizing those misaligned values is when I really started to make progress on my debt repayment and on actually reaching my debt-free goals and any other goal that I've decided to set for myself. So what I will say is it definitely is a behavior shift, a mindset shift, and about creating that habit and essentially developing a new set of priorities. It takes time, so give yourself that, but it feels damn good when you get there. The next mindset shift I learned was that I started to be okay with letting go of things. And by letting go, I mean by actually physically decluttering my space and getting rid of things around me. And I also mean by saying no to things. Because one thing I also learned throughout this journey is you have to live on less than you make. You have to live below your means. So you really can't be spending your time shopping and trying to find the best deal and wanting new things all the time. Money mindset shift number 7 was that I stopped using credit as a cushion. I touched on this before in one of my videos, and it's that credit cards are not money. And I definitely used to use credit cards as a cushion, as a safety net to get myself to payday. But that turned into a cycle of relying on credit through my whole pay period, spending my entire paycheck on paying off the credit card bill, and then having to use credit all over again to get myself through payday. So now with the budget, now with my debt-free goals, I definitely allocate cash where it needs to go at the beginning of every single month. And I stopped using credit as a cushion. It's not an extension of my money, it's not an extension of my pay, and I definitely had to learn that. I had to let go of the buy now, pay later mindset because it was just putting me in this perpetual circle where I couldn't get ahead and I couldn't put down more money on my debt because I was putting it somewhere else on the credit card. Number 8 was that I stopped looking for the fastest way out. And what I mean by this is that I stopped looking for things like get rich quick schemes or get out of debt fast schemes. I really had to embrace the fact that this was gonna take me a while. I've definitely talked about this before, and it's that debt is really easy to get into, but it takes time to get out of. And I think the thing is, once you stop trying to look for all these shortcuts to get out of debt, that's also when you will start to see the change within yourself, within your mindset, within your behavior, and within your value system overall. If someone handed me $120,000 in cash and said, okay, your debt is gone, my behavior would not have changed and I wouldn't have learned a thing. And I would definitely still be in the hamster wheel of chasing stuff, money, and image to try to find happiness there instead of finding it within myself and within my own struggles on this journey. So embrace the fact that getting out of debt will take some time, but also embrace the fact that you're going to learn and grow and be a different person than when you started when you get to the end. Shift number 9, and this kind of goes together with my 5th point, is that I stopped trying to do it all just because everybody else was. Some might say that money is the most renewable resource we have, but when you're spending it all faster than you're making it, I don't really agree with that. And that's definitely what I was doing. So all of my money were going to places to have it all when really I had nothing. Everyone wants to keep up and everyone wants to be accepted, but at the expense of your own financial freedom and financial future, no. And the last money mindset shift I made was that I started talking about my debt. I'm gonna say it loud for everybody in the back. Normalize talking about debt and money so you can take control of your debt and your money. Debt to me is strange because most of us act like we're not in it, but most of us are in it. What I've learned along the way is if I was able to project an image of wealth and affluence when I was completely broke, then how many other people in this world are doing the same thing? Debt for me isn't anything to be ashamed of, but at the same time, it's not anything to brush off either. And I think talking about it and talking about how you're going to get out of it, it's like it creates a sense of accountability and a sense of openness and even a sense of community. There's tons of other people who are going through the exact same thing, and that's why I'm making this video now, because I know I'm not alone and you aren't either. Debt isn't a secret, so don't keep it one. So I'm still in debt, but I'm working hard to get out of it. And these were some of the mindset shifts that I had to make and learn along the way just to get there a little faster and to stay out of it. A lot of the time, getting out of debt is a long and rough road, but it'll definitely teach you a thing or two about yourself. So let me know in the comments down below some of the money mindset shifts that you've made on your debt-free journey, and let me know how you're doing. Do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up if it helped you. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.